Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday at 7 a.m. And of course, the program replays in its entirety at 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. My sidekick here, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we think we have another good program. We think all the programs are good, but you're the ones that make the judgment. The final judgment is yours. And we like to come here and we well prepared. We have a lot of only good things to talk about. We don't get into the controversies. We don't have to have an attorney following us or a private detective protecting our backside. Maybe we should, but we don't know about it. Maybe we don't say enough good things about a person that maybe deserves more, or maybe we miss a lot of them. I mean, let's face it.
A lot of good stories in the community.
A lot of good stories. And a lot of times when I come on, I want to say, just mention it. Well, when I get into it, then I remember, like the picture we have of Father Mott. Mm-hmm. You want to show that picture? Would that take you a long time to get to?
Well, let me go dig in and see where I can get to it.
Father Mott, age 91, is retired. However, the priests, as long as they're capable, apparently all volunteer to assist in some type of a capacity. And here he is sitting down, and Deacon Berg from New Iberia, and this is where Father Mott is now staying. Mm-hmm. And I asked, after Mass, I stayed, that's at Sycamore Point, at the little chapel there, St. Francis Chapel. And I asked him if I could have a picture with him. I said, I'd like to have that for my outdoor kitchen. You well known in the community. And he said, sure. So we took the picture, and he looks up at me. He says, you remember when you did the eulogy for Nick Fakuri? I said, yes, sir, I sure do. Remember that well. He said, you remember me doing this, telling you to stop talking? You had talked long enough. You and others. It wasn't just me. Mm-hmm. But he remembered me. Now, how I had forgotten that.
How many years ago?
That was 11 years ago, June the 2nd of this year.
So he was, Father Mott's 91?
91. He'd have been 80 years old.
He'd been 80 years old then, and he still remembers that.
Still remembers that then. What a wonderful man. So, Father...
and our men's mass, once a year, we try to have it over at Sycamore Point, usually at Don Fisher's camp.
Don in Orleans.
On the gazebo.
And Ted, of course.
And usually Father Mott is is the celebrant for the Mass.
There you go. So, anyhow, just starting off with some good, all good news on the Bobby Dupre Show. And one of the things that I read with interest is Brennan's restaurant, after 100+ years of operation, have shut down because of a family disagreement. Mm-hmm. It went to court, and the courts couldn't, they decided, I think, who owned the voting majority, and they closed the place down. So I guess the majority ruled they wasn't satisfied, whatever. And that's, that's hard to believe that could happen to a well-established business like that. The one who has the rights to the name, I think, is that's important, is stating in one of these articles I read that he plans on opening in another area in the French Quarters to continue on the family tradition.
And my impression is they were trying to let two of the younger boys who get along well try to work this out instead of the older guys who have the friction, but they can't quite get it right. I'm sure they'll come to some conclusion.
Well, let's talk about a restaurant that is establishing its reputation better and better and better. And we're talking about the Steamboat Warehouse, one of our fine,
I've been there,
longtime sponsors.
Yes, sir.
And they're the best of the restaurant. They're the most romantic restaurant. They're the best service. service and
The best Bloody Mary.
so anyhow, talk about them.
Steamboat Warehouse. Not a whole lot more to say. They were the best steaks as well. So if you're looking for steaks, looking for great
Best
seafood,
chef.
adult libations, and you know the chef's going to be good, and best
Jason
service.
Hugate.
They also won for best service.
Yep.
And remember, Jason's also on the What's Cooking show here on KDCG, and Jason is always cooking up something fantastic. This week is French onion soup, and when we walked in the studio, I can still smell the French onion soup when we walked in. Very, very good. It's going to be on the show tonight. But Steamboat Warehouse, get mom away from the smell of her own cooking. Great ambiance, great romantic restaurant. I got engaged there and had my first meal as a married man there, the Steamboat. And how about another sponsor? Let's talk about a different one, a new one. JB Sandoz.
JB Sandoz.
We've got a brand new sponsor, brand new business, just opened in town. No,
I want to
not
say
just
one. I
opened.
want to make one statement.
Go ahead.
I said, I think it's about a 135-year-old business.
That's correct.
And because I remembered a few years ago, well, it's 10, they were 125 years. And
135 years. If you go by, you know JB Sandoz, they got everything, as everybody says. Galvanized and black pipe with all the galvanized fittings you need to connect them. They've got fencing like your poultry netting, hardware cloths, welding wire. They got rope, shovels, rakes, paint, bicycles, barbecue pits, pocket knives. They've been there since 1878. Neil Sandoz, of course, is our guy. That's the latest generation that's running the store. And please go by. Think about it for housewares, for gifts.
a few years ago, I needed one of the little small wood-burning stoves for upstairs at the Point. And went to JB Sandoz and didn't have anything in stock. He got on the computer, found out there was one in Simsport at a hardware store in Simsport. We called the person, he kept it, I went and picked it up at a later date.
So he can still help you out and get it.
And you know the big thing, the big difference of he's still hometown, old time, 135-year-old business. He's following the great-grandpa's leadership. And you can get a half a dozen of a bolt or 2-inch bolt, and you know you can get a dozen if you want.
You walk in
nails, you can get about a pound.
You don't have to go serve yourself either. You walk in, you bring something in, you're not sure. Somebody there is going to walk up to you, see what you're looking for, and go help you. I had I'm in an old home. The toilet in there must be 70-some odd years old. When the handle broke, I looked at that thing. The thing was crooked and twisted and all. I said, well, I don't know where I'm going to get that. So I went to JB Sandoz and I showed the fella. I said, maybe you know where I could order one like this? He went to the shelf. I mean, there wasn't no order, and I got that in stock. That's the original one probably came from
We
there.
want to thank Neil and all the family there that they think enough of our show, and I hope that you all that are listening to the show, when you need something, give them a try. You'll be surprised at how competitive pricing they have. And they'll wrap like, that's where I like to buy for wedding gifts. I like to buy the Smoky, the old Smoky,
pits.
and then maybe put 1 or 2 of the utensils with it. And they box it up, they'll deliver it, local, they'll deliver it. I mean,
And the Magnolite style pots in every size, from the huge roast all the way down to the little bitty ones.
So, can't say enough. I remember Jim Cunningham and Barbara from Grand Prairie, Texas, right out of Dallas, came down, and one of the places I needed something was at JB Sandoz. Well, he's a guy that can do everything himself. He could not believe that we had this little jewel sitting right here in Opelousas. I still remember that. And others that I've brought there over the years, it's a good tourist attraction of its own. Never looked at it like that, but it is.
How about another sponsor, Piggly Wiggly? And of course, it's 4th of July coming up. Today, y'all watching us on 4th of July. And want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day. If you're looking for all your good stuff, they've got sirloin pork chops for $1.18 a pound at Piggly Wiggly. The fryer leg quarters, 8-pound bag for under $5. They've got hot dogs, the bar S franks for 88 cents a pack, so you can do all that barbecuing for hot dogs for the kids. They got pork ribs for $1.88 a pound. You can't go wrong. Don't forget about the watermelons as well. They got plenty of watermelon there on sale as well.
I had a good picture of me eating a watermelon, about a fourth of a watermelon. Vicki Frederick had that on the boat the other day.
Right.
And here I am, I'm eating well, actually, the boat was docked at dockside, but we had a great time. We turned on the music and had a party under the pier, and I'm eating watermelon, but it came out too dark. It didn't have enough light.
You need a better photographer.
Well, need a better camera.
A photographer will help that.
Oh yeah, well. I don't want to say nothing.
I'm not inviting myself.
Somebody
you see, I'm just kind of.
No, you never can go. You don't ever go nowhere.
I just got to get invited sometime.
Yeah,
Blue Bayou Water Park ticket giveaway. You know, the summer's still going on. We're still giving away the family 4-packs, the Blue Bayou Water Park ticket, with the Blue Bayou Water Park tickets. Down there, I guess it's down Highland Road on I-10. And you can get them if you text the word Bayou to 64636. That's the word Bayou to 64636. You can win a family pack.
And you know, the best of the best came out, and I like to say they're all our friends. Mm-hmm. And DCG won with the best financial advisor, Joe Gottschall Jr. Mm-hmm. And Roy Motors, it's they are the oldest car dealership, remains one of the best. Mm-hmm. And that's Roy Motors,
American dealer.
Best Auto American dealer, mm-hmm. and Best Auto Used. Mm-hmm. So Roy Motors, I think they're 77 years. 77 years they've been in business, and it's the Roy family. And Bordelon Motors had that distinction, but then they sold, mm-hmm. and it's now Sterling. Mm-hmm. Ford, and they're building their new dealership next to their Sterling, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealership.
A whole super center of all sorts of different variety, any kind of car you want, all one big old piece of property.
You bet. And that's going to leave a big hole downtown. I hate to see that. I hope somebody could find some type of usage of that mm-hmm. nice facility. I see Swallows Dinner Club won several, and we like to thank them because they help us with the
cerebral palsy for our Breakfast with Santa.
Breakfast with Santa. Mm-hmm. Beth is there every year since we started. This will be our 10th year. Can you imagine? It looked like yesterday we started this breakfast.
And we want to remind everybody, you and I talked about this last week, they're still looking for a physical therapist. They're looking for a pediatric physical therapist to help at the clinic starting this fall. 351-0712. Lynn Morrow is your lady to talk to. If you're interested, please give a call.
Another person that always comes through at any time I call him, and that's Kelly's Diner, Best Barbecue. And I think that's their son-in-law, Elaine, and Kelly's son-in-law, Brian Ledoux Jr. Mm-hmm. and his staff that cook that and sell it every Sunday. And let's see somebody else that Best Drug Store, Ken's Thrifty Way, been a sponsor of ours over the years.
That's correct.
And his brother, of course, Carl, is one of our mentioned advertisers.
Right.
And who else? Best lawyer. When I got into my little situation, one of the very first calls I got was Pat Morrow calling, what can I do to help, Bobby? And he was right by my side, and I thank you. And he is the best lawyer, Patrick C. Morrow. Morrow, and
how about the best
Ryan?
How about the best band? One Trick Pony, our own Matt LeBlanc from KDCG.
And a lot of other young guys in there. Yeah, I forgot who's the head. Mouton.
We got to take a break, a 1-minute break. The quarter's up, and we'll see you folks on the other side of 1 minute.